So they didn't give us any time at all to prepare.
Yeah. Just released. 5 minutes before the meeting.
Yeah, and
5 minutes before the meeting.
yeah, and we didn't have any input into it whatsoever. I had to make sure I get
the government could do to facilitate that kind of integration where all partners, right, business, United Way, school board, all of the people who have a part to play are at the table and setting community priorities because they're going to give better services for the same amount of money. My heart's good.
Well, because let's be realistic. We recognize there's not going to be a lot of it.
I have another daughter who's expecting a baby any minute. No, Jack, it's okay. So I'm also a grandmother already, but she knows I'm unavailable for the next 3 hours. She'll hold on, yeah. I asked her if she wouldn't mind. She's due a week tomorrow. But the creation of the Ontario Child Benefit, that's going to make a real difference for low-income families. It's going to be up to $92 per month per child for them to recognize the strengths of themselves, of their family members, of their communities, and then be there to support the whole person however they need. Very committed to getting smarter about how we spend money on poverty reduction. There's actually a significant amount of money now being spent on poverty reduction, but unfortunately we don't have a good way of knowing if it's really working. In fact, I would argue that much of what we spend, we haven't even really taken the time to determine what it is we're trying to achieve, and are we actually achieving that outcome. Too many reports come back to me as minister that say, yes, this program was a great success because 712 people took the program. Well, 712 people taking the program doesn't mean they got anything out of it. So we need to get back and get real about spending our money where it really makes the most. Strategy will be focused on children first. That doesn't mean that we will not be focusing on developing a comprehensive poverty reduction strategy for all people living in poverty, but we know that investments made in children will have the most important payoff over the long term. We need to break the intergenerational cycle of poverty. I'm delighted that we have someone here from Children's Aid Society. The kids who have been in the care of the Children's Aid Society. These kids are amazingly wonderful, fabulous kids. And we need to do better so they go on to graduate from school, that they are successful when they leave our care, that they're established and ready to look after themselves. But there are many, many groups, kids, who need a little more help, and that's what we're here to do. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. We're going to have a very interesting 3 hours, and let's get to work. Thank you.
My name is Dan Tish. I'll be moderator for our session today. And I just wanted to very quickly go through the process we're going to use to try to capture views and ideas from everybody around the 4 tables we have gathered here. I want to pick up on something the minister said. She said it's very important on this issue that we have all hands on deck. And that's about as good a metaphor as any to start from. Because I guess in putting the agenda together, we started with the viewpoint that we needed, that no one person had the entire solution, but that perhaps we all have a piece of the solution. And so in terms of the way we're going about this entire engagement process, as well as going about today's meeting, there are going to be multiple ways for people to have some input here. One way is, of course, sitting around your table, talking to your colleagues. So discussions at the table level. We'll also be having discussions at the plenary level, where you'll have an opportunity to make a presentation to the whole room on behalf of your table. And third, you'll see in front of you there's some workbooks there on which there will be an opportunity for you to, if there's something you really feel strongly about, that you didn't have the time, or you didn't feel the meeting sufficiently hit and sufficiently addressed, there'll be an opportunity for you to make some written comments and leave them behind. Every single comment will be reviewed by the government, and every single recommendation will be considered. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing, I guess, is that there's also a recognition here that there are both provincial issues and a need for a comprehensive provincial strategy, but also a need for a local strategy, like the one that many people here today focused on the questions that are in your workbooks, the 6 questions that the government has developed as part of the engagement process, the 6 consultation questions that they want answered. And then, as well, we're going to have a little bit of time to talk about local priorities. So we'll do we'll want to answer those 6 questions because it's very critical that the leaders on this critical issue here in Peterborough have their say, and that's you folks, but that we also have an opportunity to talk about local priorities too. Final thing I want to say is that I heard a phrase once which is very good, and that's all meetings need CPR. That doesn't mean we're counting on any medical emergencies here, we hope not. But what it does mean is that CPR stands for 2 things: content, process, and relations between people. On the content side, that's your job. So I'm not going to get involved in the content. I'm neutral. I don't work for the Ontario government. I'm here as a neutral process manager. So the content is your job, and the only involvement I'm going to have there is from time to time, as we hear presentations, I may probe a little bit, I may ask for clarification, but we're going to record any comments that are made in your own words, right? So as much as possible, we want it to be your words, as unfiltered as possible, with no judgment passed by anybody else. Having said that, no words will be attributed to any one person, right? So all feedback will be candid and confidential unless you want it to be otherwise. So content process. At times today, I may have to call an end to a discussion at a particular time or a particular topic. Please understand that's only because I want to respect your time.
I do not want anyone to think that they do not have a voice.
It's not me who whispers in clandestine tones. You can't hard sell, you can't advertise me. Oh, live out on that fringe. Oh, live out on that fringe. Why?